We talk about justification, but the way in which a person is justified, it's important for us to underline this, is by faith, but not simply by faith. We need to add this critical word that the reformers made sure to underline: by faith alone. That is to say, our works contribute nothing to our salvation. We only bring to our salvation the sin that made it necessary. When it comes to justification, Romans 3:28 is vital. It says, "For we maintain that a man is justified by faith apart from the works of the law." It says in Romans 11:6, if you add one work to grace, grace is no longer grace. That there's something about the purity of faith, and by faith we mean taking the full weight of your soul and let it rest fully on the promises of God, not in your efforts to commend yourself to God by your good behavior, not in the hopes that your good will outweigh your bad, not just I tried to live a good life and I just ask forgiveness over and over and over again and God will hopefully know my heart, or I didn't have knowledge of the truth, so how could he hold me accountable? By full trust that the weight of my soul now is placed upon God for his provision for me in Christ. That's what justification requires. Going on, and if you were to read in Romans chapter 4, this important word, Romans 4:4, now to the one who works, his wage is not credited as God's favor, but what is due. If I do a work, then I'm getting paid for the work I do. That's not a gift. That's not grace. That's an exchange. But to the one, Romans 4:5, who does not work, but who believes in him who justifies the ungodly, his faith is credited as righteousness. The very act of believing in Jesus alone and his perfect work on the cross and in the resurrection for you, not your good works that you use to commend yourself to him, but by his good works on your behalf and your dependence on that, that is the one who receives salvation, the true justification by faith.